Let's talk to the last Cody. Yo, what's up?
Hey, what's going on?
Last Cody.
How are you doing?
Oh shit, the speakers aren't on. Are they? Are they?
Are they?
Hold on. Last Cody.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
There we go.
Sorry
you doing?
about that. We didn't want to hear Christmas music in here.
Yeah, no more of that. MLK tribute.
What's up? Why are you awake?
Because I gotta represent MLK.
I come in the name of Martin Luther King Jr. Who name you coming in?
I'm coming in MLK as well. As respect.
Bullshit.
Oh. But I do want to say I really love MLK. He helped a school that was down in my parts. They had no bus, and the kids had to walk for miles to get to school, and that is absurd.
Yeah.
MLK helped them get a bus.
Yeah,
so
he put him on the bus. It wasn't a short bus either.
Yeah, it was a big, long,
This
yellow
ain't game
bus.
life.
Yeah.
This is Martin Luther King in action. This is his legacy. If you can't appreciate his legacy, everyone watching right now, turn off whatever game you're playing. Turn off Kino Noonie, the whatever RPG,
Yeah.
and turn on me. Put on my face. Put it on 10x zoom and look me in the fucking eye. Racism will not stand on this digital ground. Digital racism is just as bad as real racism. And if you think for a second that it's not because it's digital and it's not analog, fuck you. I'll find your name and I'll put your YouTube account to sleep.
That's right.
I'll find your Facebook and I'll fucking send it to the rubbish.
That is correct.
Piece of shit.
Yes. Anyways, I did want to call in because I wanted to.
If you think you can clog our bandwidth, they say 60% of the internet's bandwidth, 40% of it is Netflix, okay, 20% of it is racism. That's 40% that we get to use free information. We got to stamp this out. I'm going to stamp out Netflix, but that's another day. We don't need to watch any more bullshit Hellraiser sequels. Turn that off, but that's another story. The other 20% is racism. Hardcore sites. KKK.com. These are sites.
Yeah.
These are out there, and hate groups post on the internet uploading high-quality JPEGs of hate crimes. That's what the internet has become.
Yeah.
And you go on Facebook, you search, if you type in white, so many white people show up. You got to put an end to this.
Yeah. No more
Anyway,
colors.
you were saying, please, keep talking.
I was wanting to call in because I never actually had a chance to talk with you specifically about 3.0 because, there's a lot of people around that haven't seen it and stuff like that. And I was wondering, like, your opinions specifically on some of the things that were shown, as in how we had explanation. Well, spoilers.
We can talk. Hey, everybody watching this, we can talk. We're going to talk Eva 3.0 spoilers. This is the first time there's no one on the set that doesn't want it spoiled. So we're done with that. So if you want to hear this, good. If you don't, take it elsewhere. Get off this internet, for crying out loud. Go go join whatever meeting. Hope it wasn't a clan meeting. Pissy bitch. Everyone out there who has a problem with race, shut your ass up. Okay, anyway, we're going to talk Evangelion spoilers. All right.
Let's get into the thick of it.
Yeah.
A lot of the things, like, I've been thinking about with 3.0, And I was talking with Garrett with this earlier because he was telling me how like we didn't get a explanation of like that first 6 minutes and stuff. And,
yeah, okay.
I think like a lot of the stuff like we saw a giant ray in with Gendo. We saw
Terminal Dogma.
Yeah, and then we saw that like it was like Yui, but like she still had her physical form.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't understand that, and she had like wings and stuff.
When they were the flashback.
I don't think it was a flashback. It was like like you remember how like when Fuyutsuki was sitting down with Shinji,
Yeah.
and he was like explaining all the stuff. Like it like showed just Yui, like with her hand, like her arms crossed, and these.
Yeah, folded into the thing. It was a flashback to when they were experimenting with the core system. I thought that was an image of the past.
But it looked like it was just like like lights came on and it just showed this like backdrop like of where they were.
Well, yeah, they were where that took place. There was where it was built or whatever, but he tells him that you were there when your mother initially tried to integrate with the core of an Evangelion. You were there. I'm surprised you don't remember. Something must have happened to your memory. And then it kind of flashes to that. That just I took that as a flashback. Personally, I don't know.
Yeah, because to me it seemed like there was just this. Maybe it was a Rey clone. I don't know, but it looked like brown hair, and it was just like shown as just in the backdrop of where that area was. Or she was just floating there.
Are you talking about when she had like the wing things going on and she was
like all those wings?
I think that was a flashback. I know exactly what you're talking about, but I think that was an image from the past. I'm standing by that. Yeah.
And a lot of the other things is the thing with Gendo and Seele. Apparently Seele put themselves in kind of like they basically died, but they kept their consciousness alive.
Yeah.
And then Gendo during the final sequence just goes over to every member and basically kills each one of them by completely erasing their whole personality and everything that they wanted, because they wanted to survive to see human instrumentality.
Yeah.
And the fact that in 4.0, Seele is gone. They don't exist anymore. Mm-hmm. That is an interesting concept to me.
Yeah.
And because that means there's just Gendo there. He's the only like kind of I guess you could say antagonist maybe.
Yeah.
And also other things, especially with Anno's been doing with these recent films, is he always. It seems like he just keeps doing like teasing us, thinking like it's this it looks like something that we've seen before, like previously in like 1.0 and 2.0. You see like the water is now red, and that only happened after End of Eva. The opening shot of 1.0, it looks like a cross that was very similar to the mass production Evas whenever they crashed. Asuka and her damages, which personally, like, I literally was like fooled, like thinking like, because it was just so exact to all the damage done to her, and the unit 2 was, it just seemed so exact to like what happened in End of Eva.
Yeah.
And a lot of other things like, and with the ending to 3.0 with Karu. So something that I've always thought about with how the original series ended was when Karu died in the original series, Shinji had no one to talk to.
Yeah.
Asuka was in a coma. He couldn't talk to Rei because at that point he knew that she was a clone.
Yeah.
he didn't have his friends and stuff.
Yeah.
But how 3.0 ended was Asuka was there and took him by hand.
Yeah.
And I'm curious how that plays out, because maybe that is like kind of like what Karu meant whenever he said find your own happiness and stuff like that. Maybe that's it. There's a lot of things, and especially because Shinji wasn't forced to kill Karu this time.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
And though he did see it, and that was not that great. Mm-hmm. But also another thing is Misato was the one that did it, and how that's going to play out in that relationship. Yeah, we're going to see.
And that's another thing too. I was going to say, you know, it was a little off-putting in this movie that she was outright cruel, and it almost seemed like for no reason. And I know that, like Kotaku reviewed the movie, and the guy posted his, like, hey, here's what she should have said, kind of thing. Like, hey, Shinji, all this stuff is going down. We can't have you go in an Evangelion because we don't know what you're going to do again. And Gendo is using all these things against us, so you just got to sit tight for right now, okay? And he says that the movie would have been solved had she just had that conversation. But the thing is the story's not over, and I think that's simplifying a more complicated thing going on. Because if you really think about it, Misato was really the one like everyone's blaming Shinji because you caused Third Impact to happen, but really she indirectly pushed that to happen. Yeah. She caused that to happen. She caused something to happen that she saw happen to her father. I mean, we all know, even in Rebuild, they flash back to a horrific incident that she witnessed that happened with her father dying and all that stuff. She made that happen again. She's suppressing that and she's pinning all that on Shinji. But there's still humanity in there because she, had the thing in the beginning and then she didn't push it. You know, and stuff like that. So, anyway, I'll be interested to see how that plays out too. I'll be interested to see if, when Kaoru was blown up, if she actually just sat there and pushed the button, or if somebody else did it, or if something just went off, I don't know.
Yeah. How I feel about the Misato relationship is, when you really think about it for the event in times of 1.0, 2.0, that was the span of maybe a few months. That's the time that she knew Shinji. If you don't know or talk to a person for 14 years, you're not going to entirely still feel a bond with that person.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But even aside from that, I just think she has gone through a lot just on her own and coming to terms with what happened. And I think she was wrecked by it. Mm-hmm. And we'll see. I don't know where it will go, but I just feel like I was saying before, there are things that I could say I don't like in the movie, but I just feel like it's part one. Yeah, even though it's the third movie, I feel like it's part one of the ending.
Yeah. And another thing you pointed out about Misato and her intentions and stuff, even though currently her part of Wally and she's against Gendo, in actuality she's almost the same as Gendo with her intentions.
Yeah.
And
but they both went through a traumatic thing in regards to relationships or whatever. Like I said, Misato went through what she saw killed her father. Yeah. She may have caused that. Gendo may have directly or indirectly caused the death of Yui and something that they're both people who couldn't let go, maybe. Mm-hmm. And I like that there's a whole subtext through the original Evangelion series of Gendo just running away. Or running away, when Shinji reminds him of the bad things that he did, he runs away from that, and it ends up creating a bad situation between him and Shinji, and it hurts Shinji. And kind of that's the same thing happening with Misato, isn't it? that Shinji might remind her of something horrific she did.
Yeah.
I think that's interesting. I think I'm onto something.
Mm. And I definitely the big thing that, like, personally with 3.0, I love it a lot more than I actually love 1.0 and 2.0. For the simple fact is, we got a lot more of Kaoru and Shinji, which is exactly what I was hoping for in this movie.
Yeah.
And granted, I think I would love a little bit more development with Kaoru because I've always been interested in him.
Yeah.
But I feel like we did get a lot more than we ever did.
Yeah, I was fine with what we got because to me, the perfect amount of Kaoru was in the series initially, because I love the idea that, oh, here's these angels, the biggest tests we can put against humanity. Can you beat them? Ooh, here's this monster, and then they started to get more abstract, like they started looking more and more into people. Mm-hmm. And then what could be worse than the final angel being another human being? Like, holy shit, that's the hardest thing to kill. Because, man, you formed a bond, whatever.
Yeah.
That to me, even though he was only in it 13 minutes, that was perfect to me. And I was worried going into the rebuild movies that they were going to do too much. Like, oh, Kaoru's a fan favorite. I thought they were going to go way too overboard. But even though he wasn't really the same role exactly as the series, I thought he was an interesting character. And I think we had him just enough. But to me, to make that character work, you got to snatch him when it's too soon.
Yeah.
That's me. That's my thought.
Mm-hmm. And the whole terminal dogma with how the both lances were there. Yeah. It seems that somehow there was near, well, as they call near third impact, which was the end of 2.0.
Yeah.
And then they say that there was a third impact that happened, which was the event that annihilated the entire human race to some degree. Mm-hmm. And how there was a giant, like, I'm really curious of how that transpired without Unit 1, because Unit 1 was, and then I was talking with Garrett about this as well. He was saying, like, how did Unit 1 get in that giant cross thing and sent into space? And what I gather, I kind of gathered that it seemed that like Wally, like before it was formed, Misato they kind of figured out that for human instrumentality to happen, they needed Unit 1, and to get like Unit 1 out of Seilei's and Gendo's reach, they had to like contain it in its current state, and then I guess send it into space. That's what I kind of gathered out of it.
Oh, okay.
Of how that before that transpired, before the movie started. But I feel like there's a lot that I do feel like there's kind of some stuff that needs to be explained about the stuff that did happen, but I don't think it really needs to go as deep enough as like after the rebuild ends that, oh, we're gonna have a whole series explaining the 14 years. I don't think we need that. I don't
really want a series. I think I'm okay with it being just what it is.
Depending on how, because how the next movie is going to be the final movie of the rebuilds, I feel like I think it should be significantly a little bit longer than the past ones.
Yeah, I agree.
Because we do need maybe like a flashback or some explanation that delves into the characters and what happened. And I feel that we are going to get at least something for Mari in the next film, because there can't be no reason why she was added.
No, it's clear she knows some stuff.
Yeah, she is very. And another thing is we don't know why she pilots the Eva. I mean, we don't have any information about how, because she doesn't have like a mother that's bound with like her unit, I guess.
But we never really confirmed that you need that for the new movies. They've never said that.
Yeah, I never thought about that,
Yeah.
but really, would they change the lore that much for the rebuild movies?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, but that's just the fact they haven't done it. So I don't know.
Yeah.
But maybe she did have some kind of mother bonded to some Ava something. I mean,
Yeah.
you see a woman that looks a lot like her in that photo of Shinji as a baby.
Oh yeah, yeah, and you saw what seemed to be Asuka's mother as well, in that
Maybe.
photo. Like there was a woman that just looked very similar to Asuka, that I think appeared to be her mother. That was also in the photo with the one with Yui when Fuyutsuki showed that to Shinji.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that I like. Definitely, it is a part one, but I feel like, you know what, I really loved this movie just for that fact because we got so. It was just so different to me, which not really saying that I wanted something different.
Yeah.
I just thought it was just really cool because it's not the same thing, and it definitely showed that this is not the same as the original.
Yeah, exactly. And there's this or that might not make it as easy to swallow as the other one. Sure, whatever. But man, if for nothing else, it was such an awesome mythological dump. Like it was just so packed with that stuff, and I love that. So I'm cool. And if the next one is all character stuff, I'm cool with that now.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Oh, yeah, I also kind of got excited, kind of like midway, because you notice whenever Shinji, after he found out the whole thing about Rei and his mother and stuff, he started to like walk, and it started to get into that psychological thing. I wish that went longer, though. I kind of do.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to see him in these movies go into those big kind of diatribes.
Yeah.
I think that's done. I think he's interested. I think Ono wants to express those kinds of ideas, but through a different way rather than.
Yeah, because it's not like a series anymore. Because these are now films. It's not like a series where you can actually devote episodes to that. I can see why you can't devote much time to that in these films. I definitely see that.
Yes.
But yeah.
I wanted to say real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Face Machine in the chat says that Ava is just mostly biblical references. He says, I feel it references philosophy but doesn't actually create its own.
No. I mean,
I don't agree with that whatsoever. I don't think he's seen the show.
Have you seen it?
Weird.
And something else I've noticed about the Rebel movies is, if you actually look back at like all three of them, each movie is significantly different than the previous one. They're all completely different. And I think that might have been Ano's intentions was each film is very different than the last one.
Yeah.
Like with the first movie, it was like, this just looks like a remake. It shot for shot, just touched up visuals. 2.0, it starts out with just Mari, like this whole brand new character piloting this new unit in like England and stuff.
Yeah.
But also something I have noticed is if you do look at besides certain things, it seems that everything's kind of playing out almost the same way as the original series. We had the whole start, which is basically the exact same. We had the how Shinji and Asuka kind of bonded and stuff. How Unit 3, how that went berserk. However, Asuka was in it. Then how when Zerul came in, but the only thing that was different about that was Shinji tried to save Rei, but in the end it kind of happened the same way. Rei was gone after that.
Yeah.
And then in the new movies, it was kind of Karu was still killed, and there still was kind of that development between them.
Yeah.
And also, I don't know if this is any significance, but he was killed by technically getting decapitated.
Yeah.
So it seems in some sort of way there's kind of like an outline to it that's kind of similar to the original series. Like I might be completely wrong, but I kind of gathered a little bit of that, and I've been wrong predicting each film. So I don't know. The next movie could be completely different.
Yeah, we'll
And
see.
that's probably,
I don't know. I'm excited either way.
yeah. And something people have been noticing is how each preview is always just like at the end of the movie, each preview is just completely different than what you see.
Yeah.
I think that's intentional because people are like, oh, they're not planning this out all the way through. I think that might be intentional.
You think,
For like,
you think so? Yeah, I don't know. I never thought about it.
I think it's because I think like Ono kind of maybe wants you to like not like he wants your expectations to be blown away. So maybe that's why the previews are very different than actually what we see.
But are they? I feel like the preview at the end of 1.0 was not different.
I feel like it was a little different. Like some of the things that it like, they're like pointing out some things like Mari, like this new mysterious Ava pilot appears, and a few other things that were kind of changed.
Oh yeah.
And then at the end of definitely the one at 2.0, which people are like, oh, this is completely different.
Yeah.
I was saying like
true.
Mark 6 was and the thing about Unit 6, and then the new unit, the one that Ray Q, which is her name currently, the Ray that's there.
Yeah.
And like Mark 6, like how that was. It's like whenever they took both lances, I guess the fake lances, because that's apparently what Karu was saying, like, oh, these aren't the right lances. When they took those out of the giant ray, and then the ray exploded, then out of the blood rose Mark 6. Maybe Mark 6 was originally, because Unit 1 was unable to be used for instrumentality, maybe Mark 6 was originally used for the actual third impact that transpired.
Yeah.
And then with the big new thing, the Ava 13, it's not even called a unit, I don't think.
Yeah,
but
I don't know.
The dual entry system, like it seems like whenever I think like there's a shot, I think it's whenever Shinji first sees Gendo, he sees all these Avas that were like just failed experiments, and I think that was to make the not the Mark 13, just the 13. And I don't know, there is a lot of like questions that are coming out of it, showing that this is a part 1. But it is interesting.
Yeah, they are you talking about when they go down and they see the failed Infinity series?
The failed Infinity series.
Or, when they're descending into Terminal Dogma and they see he's like, that's the Infinity series, ignore that.
Yeah, but then there was also, I think maybe it was just because the camera was just so blurry at that part.
Yeah.
I thought I saw, like, more stuff like that. But, yeah, like, I guess the Infinity series.
That's why I'm encouraging people to not watch the cam. Like, I did, and it was like,
Yeah.
It's such a visual tour de force that I just feel like,
Yeah.
man, let's just, yeah. But,
Yeah.
I was going to say the Infinity series, I think that there's got to be some connection between that and in the preview at the end of 3.0, the unit at the end jumps out and there's a million AT fields. I think it looks like beneath them. And I bet you that's something to do with them. I don't know.
Interesting.
That may be a steep wager, but
Oh yeah, the preview at the end of 3.0 with the whole. Oh yeah, and then how it ends with Asuka, where she checks the sort of like radar, like the, what was it, the L level something down here was like really high.
yeah.
And they were unable to, like, Wally couldn't reach them or distract them, so they had to like kind of find their way out.
Yeah.
And also to say like that, I don't know, this might just be me, but that final shot of them just walking,
Yeah.
I don't know, I fucking love that shot.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
And in the preview for the next one, there's all those, like as you said, the Infinity series. Maybe I don't know. There is a lot of things that are just a question about this movie.
Yeah.
But
I'm excited to see what happens, though.
Yeah, I am too. And we're supposed to get it this year, and it does kind of seem like how this movie is set up. I think they were probably working on these movies like together.
Yeah, I think
so. Yeah, I think we're gonna hopefully get it this year. Hopefully, it doesn't get delayed. I really hope we do get it this year.
I agree. I don't know. They took the date off the site, so we'll see.
Oh, I hope that's not a bad sign. But yeah, I can't wait for the Japanese Blu-ray to come out.
Yeah.
And because I really want to see that in just full HD and kind of pick it apart.
Yeah, totally.
And as basically how the releases are, I think someone like said, like, based upon how many months the past ones have been, they're like predicting it's going to be like a late summer, early fall release for that.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Either way, I'm gonna be getting it if it's out by Comic-Con. I've actually, the last two movies, I picked them up at, there's always some booth at Comic-Con that has the imports, and I'll just be like, yep, and not be able to read any of it.
And haven't they done with the past films, like the first print, you get like a film reel with them?
Yeah.
I hope whenever I import that, I just want this is asking for much for the final shot, but besides that, maybe like just a shot of Unit 13 would be really cool.
I lucked out when I got my Eva 2.0 Blu-ray. I got a film strip of Zerul blasting the geofront.
That's rad.
I thought that was cool. Do you know which one was the most valuable?
Oh, the Misato in a bath, or
Yes. Wow, you knew it.
yeah, $1,500 on eBay.
Hey, Cashadu, this is why we blocked you from YouTube.
Well, he was blocked on YouTube.
Yeah, we blocked him from commenting, and now he's doing it here too, talking about saying there's shitty animation. This is what I'm talking about. This guy's gonzo.
He's crazy. Probably part of the KKK.
He's Cashadu in the head, you know?
Yeah, he's got a K in his name. Probably put 3 more Ks in there. He's not with Martin Luther King.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Martin Luther King mentioned Cashadu in his speech, I think.
Yeah, he said he was a bad guy. He wasn't part of it. He was the nightmare of his dream.
Yeah. He was wasn't a wet dream.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that. The opposite, a dry dream.
Yeah.
Where he can't possibly enjoy himself.
But hey, thanks for having this Ava talk with me.
Yeah, thank you very much. Finally could talk about it.
With no one around. Is Kevin like watching it, like the original series, and then also seeing End of Ava?
I'm not sure what he's going to do. It depends on if he likes it, I guess.
Yeah, because I know some people that I have recommended it to. I've recommended the series to them, but they don't realize that there's End of Ava.
Yeah.
But I feel like as a package thing, it's like you have to watch the original series with End of Ava. You can skip Death and Rebirth.
Yeah, sure, but how else would you watch it? You watch the original series and then End of Ava. Are you what as opposed to what?
Some people just get confused. They get so confused about all the movies that are out, especially with Rebuild and
yeah,
stuff.
I don't understand that. It's like just watch it all in the order that it came out. People ask on here every single podcast we have. So what order should I watch it in? Episode 1? I don't know. Watch them all. The end of Evangelion, that says to me that comes after.
It's the end.
You know, I don't know what the confusion is there.
Yeah. And I feel like the only like real use to Death and Rebirth is if you want to like refresh yourself and you don't feel like watching the entire series, which I don't really get, but maybe if like it's like, oh, I just want to kind of refresh myself with what's going on.
It's funny because back in the day I used to work at a Blockbuster.
Mm-hmm.
And we got Death and Rebirth to rent, but we didn't get anything else. We didn't get the series, and we didn't get End of Ava. And I knew so many kids that rented Death and Rebirth. It was like, what? And I would ask them, have you seen the show? No. Did you like the movie? And most of them said yes. Yeah, that was cool. How was it cool? It recaps the show you didn't watch and then gives you half an hour movie you haven't seen.
I don't know. It's cool visuals.
Anyway.
And the thing about Death and Rebirth is I don't like how the setup is because it's just like text, clip, text clip.
Yeah,
then-
it was, it's there. Honestly, when they would air Lost here, they would have those, like, recap shows. It's almost like they did one theatrically there, and it's there,
Mm-hmm.
Whatever.
But
Anyway,
yeah.
I gotta check on this video, and I'm, like, falling asleep. Not anything to do with you.
Oh, it's fine. But yeah, thanks again.
No
for
problem.
Have a nice morning.
Oh, God, I'll try.
Later.
Thanks. Have a good one. Bye. Good ass call.